standing.
Yeah. Hey, Chinnu, that look good. ईश्वरा परमकृष्णा सच्चिदानंद विग्रहः अनादिरादिर्गोविन्द सर्वकारणकारणं चिन्तामणिप्रकरसद्मसुकल्पवृक्षा लक्ष्यावृतेषु सुरभिरभिपालयन्तं लक्ष्मीसहस्रशतसम्भ्रमसेव्यमानं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। वेणुं क्वणन्तमरविन्ददलायताक्षं बर्हावतं समसिताम्बुधसुन्दराङ्गं कन्दर्पकोटिकमनीयविशेषशोभं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। आलोलचन्द्रकलसद्वनमाल्यवंशी रत्नाङ्गदं प्रणयकेलिकलाविलासं श्यामं त्रिभङ्गललितं नियतप्रकाशं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। अङ्गानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रियवृत्तिमन्ति पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ति आनन्दचिन्मयसदुज्ज्वलविग्रहस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। अद्वैतमच्युतमनादिमनन्तरूपम् आद्यं पुराणपुरुषं नवयौवनं च वेदेषु दुर्लभमदुर्लभमात्मभक्तौ गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। पन्तस्तु कोटिशतवत्सरसम्प्रगम्यो वायोरथापि मनसो मुनिपुङ्गवानां सोऽप्यस्ति यत्प्रपदसीम्य विचिन्त्य तत्त्वे गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। एकोऽप्यसव्रचयितुं जगदण्डकोटिं यच्छक्तिरस्ति जगदण्डचया यदन्तः अण्डान्तरस्थपरमाणुचयान्तरस्थं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यद्भावभावितधियो मनुजास्तथैव सम्प्राप्य रूपमहिमासन् यानभूषाः सूक्तैर्यमेव निगमप्रतितैस्तुवन्ति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। आनन्दचिन्मयरसप्रतिभा ताभिः ताभिर्य एव निजरूपतया कलाभिः गोलोक एव निवसत्यखिलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। प्रेमाञ्जनच्छुरितभक्तिविलोचनेन सन्तः सदैव हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति यं श्यामसुन्दरमचिन्त्य गुणस्वरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। रामादिमूर्तिषु कलानियमे तिष्ठन् नानावतारमकरोद्भुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्णस्वयं समभवत्परमः पुमान्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यस्य प्रभा प्रभवतो जगदण्डकोटि कोटिस्वशेषवसुधादिविभूतिभिन्नम् तद्ब्रह्म निष्कलमनन्तमशेषभूतं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। माया हि यस्य जगदण्ड सतानि सूते त्रैगुण्यतद्विषयवेदवितायमाना सत्त्वावलम्बि परसत्त्वं विशुद्धसत्त्वं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। आनन्दचिन्मयरसात्मतया मनस्सु यः प्राणिनां प्रतिफलं स्मरतामुपेत्य लीलायितेन भुवनानि जयत्यजस्रं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोलोकनाम्नि निजधाम्नि तले च तस्य देवी महेश हरिधाम तेषु तेषु ते प्रभावनिचया विहिताश्च येन गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि सृष्टिस्थितिप्रलयसाधन शक्तिरेका छायेव यस्य भुवनान् बिभर्ति दुर्गा इच्छानुरूपमपि यस्य च चेष्टते सा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि क्षीरं यथा दधिविकार विशेषयोगात् संजायते न हि ततः पृथगस्ति हेतोः यशम्भुतामपि तथा समुपैति कार्यात् गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि दीपार्चिरेव हि दशान्तरमभ्युपेत्य दीपायते विवृतहेतु समानधर्मा यस्तादृगेव हि च विष्णु तया विभाति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यः कारणान्नवजले भजति स्म योगा निद्रामनन्तजगदण्ड सरोमकूपः आधारशक्तिमवलम्ब्य परां स्वमूर्तिं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यस्यैकनिश्वसितकालमथावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमविलजा जगदण्डनाथः विष्णुर्महान् स इह यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि भास्वान् यथा स्म सकलेषु निजेषु तेजः स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्र ब्रह्मा य एष जगदण्ड विधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भ द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये स गणाधिराजः विघ्नान् विहन्तुमलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अग्निर्मही गगनमम्बु मरुद्दिशश्च कालस्तथात्ममनसीति जगत्त्रयाणि यस्माद्भवन्ति विभवन्ति विशन्ति यं च गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यच्चक्षुरेश सविता सकलग्रहाणां राजा समस्तसुरमूर्तिरशेष तेजः यस्याज्ञया भ्रमति संभृतकालचक्रो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि धर्मोतपापनिचयश्रुतयस्तपांसि ब्रह्मादिकीटपतगावधयश्च जीवाः यद्दत्तमात्रविभवप्रकटप्रभाव गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यस्मिन्द्रगोपमथवेन्द्रमहोस्वकर्म बन्धानुरूपफलभाजन मातनोति कर्माणि निर्दहति किन्तु च भक्तिभाजा नमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यं क्रोधकामसहजप्रणयादिभीति वात्सल्यमोहगुरुगौरवसेव्यभावैः सञ्चिन्त्य तस्य सदृशीं तनुमापुरेते गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि श्रियः कान्तः परमपुरुष कल्पतरवो द्रुमा भूमिश्चिन्तामणि गणमयी तोयममृतं कथागानं नाट्यं गमनमपि वंशी प्रियसखी चिदानन्दं ज्योतिः परमपि तदा स्वाद्यमपि च स यत्र क्षीराब्धि श्रवति सुरभिभ्यश्च सुमहान् निमेषार्धाख्यो वा व्रजति न हि यत्रापि समयः भजे श्वेतद्वीपं तमहमिह गोलोकमितीयं विदन्तस्ते सन्तः क्षितिविरलचाराः कतिपये ईश्वरा परमकृष्ण सच्चिदानन्दविग्रहः अनादिरादिर्गोविन्द सर्वकारणकारणम्
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatarane Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaurabhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today is a very auspicious occasion.
आज बहुत ही सौभाग्य का दिन है, शुभ दिन है.
Of course, human beings are always looking for auspicious times and auspicious signs and auspicious events.
मनुष्य जो है वो हमेशा शुभ दिन, शुभ समय ढूंढते हैं.
This is something that animals don't do.
ये जानवर नहीं करते.
So we have all sorts of traditions and customs that are auspicious.
इसीलिए हमारे कई तरह के डिफरेंट रीति रिवाज हैं जो कि ऑस्पिशियसनेस लाते हैं, शुभ का रीति रिवाज है.
For instance, we have a swastika.
जैसे हम लोग ये स्वास्तिक होता है.
So you see the swastika all over the place.
कई जगह स्वास्तिक बना रहता है, वो शुभ.
Or you'll see the rangoli patterns out everywhere.
जैसे कई जगह रंगोली के पैटर्न्स हैं, वो भी शुभ के हैं.
Or you'll see over the door there'll be some mango leaves.
दरवाजे के ऊपर आम की पत्तियां हैं, वो भी शुभ की हैं.
Or you'll see there's pots with coconuts on them.
और जो मिट्टी के जो लोटे, मटकों के ऊपर नारियल, वो भी शुभ है.
Or you'll see banana trunks with bananas hanging off them.
या केले के पेड़ जिसमें केले लटके हुए हैं, ऐसे आपने देखा होगा द्वार पे लगे रहते हैं.
And of course then we have auspicious times.
इसी तरह से शुभ समय भी होता है.
So according to astrology, sometimes are auspicious, so we want to do different things like weddings at auspicious times.
So ज्योतिष के हिसाब से कुछ समय शुभ होते हैं, और उस टाइम में जैसे शादी वगैरह उस टाइम पे होते हैं, विवाह उस समय होता है.
And then we have festivals. We have certain festivals which are auspicious, so they celebrate Navaratri and Jamashtami and so many different festivals.
इसी तरह से कई त्योहार होते हैं, जैसे नवरात्रि, जन्माष्टमी, जो शुभ त्योहार हैं.
So all of this is actually to create a better life for the human being.
ये सब इसलिए है कि मनुष्य के लिए अच्छा जीवन उसका व्यतीत हो.
By choosing certain actions and by certain objects, etc., we change our pattern of life.
By choosing certain objects?
Yeah, or times or events, etc.
तो अगर हम लोग इस तरह के समय, इस तरह की वस्तुएं और इस तरह के इवेंट्स या तिथि अगर हम चुने, तो उससे वो शुभ होती है.
So everybody wants to improve life, so therefore we do all these things to improve our life.
सब लोग अपनी जीवन की स्थिति बेहतर करना चाहते हैं, और इसीलिए ये शुभ चीजें होती हैं ताकि उससे हमारे जीवन बेहतर हो.
So in terms of scriptures, what this means is we're trying to change our karma for the better.
शास्त्रों के हिसाब से ये वो चीजें हैं जिससे हम अपना कर्मा बदलना चाहते हैं और बेटर करना चाहते हैं.
Certain actions will create problems for us.
कई ऐसे कार्य हैं जो कि हमें प्रॉब्लम, जिससे हमें परेशानियां हमारी बढ़ेंगी.
And other actions will create improvement in our life.
और कुछ ऐसे कार्य हैं जिनको करने से हमारे जीवन में बढ़ोतरी होगी.
So scripture gives us all sorts of different things you can do to start changing your karma.
तो शास्त्र हमें सब तरह की कई तरह की चीजें ऐसे बताते हैं जिससे करने से हमारा जीवन और अच्छा हो सकता है.
So most people are not very conscious of what is happening. They just do these things because this is the custom.
कई लोग सिर्फ ये कार्य इसलिए करते हैं क्योंकि ये एक रीति रिवाज बना हुआ, इसलिए करना है.
But if we look in the scriptures, then we will see that there is some logic behind all of this.
लेकिन अगर हम शास्त्रों का अध्ययन करें तो इन सब चीजों के पीछे एक लॉजिक है, एक तर्क है.
So first of all, the attempt is to bring us from tamogun to sattvagun.
तो ये हमें ये सारी रीति रिवाज ये इसलिए ताकि हम तमोगुण से उठकर सतोगुण में आए.
And then from sattva gun, we're supposed to get out of the material world.
और सत्वगुण से फिर हमारी कोशिश रहनी चाहिए कि हम सत्वगुण से आध्यात्मिक जगत चले.
But most of the people aren't thinking about how to escape from this world. They're trying to live in the world, so it's a little bit beyond most people.
तो ज्यादातर लोग जो हैं वो सिर्फ सत्वगुण तक ही सोच पाते हैं, ब्रह्मांड के अंदर ही सोच पाते हैं, उसके बियॉन्ड नहीं सोच पाते.
Nevertheless, this is the ultimate goal.
उनको लगता है कि बस यही अंतिम कार्य या अंतिम लक्ष्य यही है कि अपना सत्वगुण तक आ जाओ.
So the scriptures advise us to follow a gradual method of progress.
तो शास्त्र हमें ये ऐसा तरीका बताते हैं जिससे हम धीरे-धीरे आगे बढ़ सकते हैं.
And at the same time, not to give up a spiritual connection.
और उसी के साथ हम अपना आध्यात्मिक संबंध भी कायम रखें.
So actually, all of the actions and whatever we do, it's actually to be related to Supreme Lord.
तो है वो भगवान से जुड़े होने चाहिए.
But it may be a little bit indirect.
कभी-कभी वो कुछ इतने डायरेक्ट नहीं, इतने परोक्ष नहीं.
So better, of course, if it's direct.
लेकिन ये बहुत अच्छा है कि अगर वो डायरेक्ट हो.
That is more effective.
उनका ज्यादा असर होता है.
So that's if we simply worship the Lord, that is a much more auspicious activity than if we do all these other activities.
इसीलिए अगर हम सीधे सिर्फ भगवान की पूजा करें तो वो सबसे ज्यादा शुभ कार्य है.
Or if we chant the name of the Lord, this is a direct activity which is most auspicious for us. If we chant the name, this is a direct activity.
जैसे कि अगर हम भगवान के दिव्य नामों का जाप करें, वो एक सीधा रास्ता है भगवान से जुड़ने का.
So in other words, of all the different auspicious activities and punyas you can do in this world, the best activity is bhakti.
सारे कार्यों में जो भी है हमें आगे बढ़ने के लिए सबसे अच्छे कार्य हैं भक्ति के कार्य.
So in bhakti we have different processes like chanting the name of the Lord.
So भक्ति में अलग-अलग तरीके के कार्य हैं, जैसे कि भगवान के दिव्य नामों का जाप करना.
So this is the most powerful process. It can destroy all your karmas.
तो ये बहुत ही ताकत है इस तरह के कार्य में, जिससे हमारे सारे कर्मों का नाश हो जाता है.
The name of the Lord is not different from the Lord.
भगवान के जो नाम है वो भगवान से अभिन्न नहीं है.
So by chanting the name of the Lord, we can meet the Lord.
और भगवान के नाम जाप करने से हम भगवान से मिल सकते हैं.
So of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has presented this Nam Sankirtan as the main process of spiritual development.
इसीलिए चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने भगवान के नामों का जाप प्रमुख कार्य बताया है.
However, to chant properly, we need some knowledge.
लेकिन भगवान के नामों का जाप करने के लिए हमें ज्ञान की आवश्यकता है.
And therefore, we also hear and study the scriptures.
और इसीलिए हम शास्त्रों का अध्ययन करते हैं.
But we have to choose the correct scriptures.
लेकिन फिर हमें सही शास्त्र चुनना पड़ेगा.
So we choose the bhakti scriptures.
इसीलिए हम भक्ति शास्त्र चुनते हैं.
So we see that Srila Prabhupada made a great effort to comment upon the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam.
इसीलिए हम देख सकते हैं कि श्रील प्रभुपाद ने भगवद गीता और भागवतम पे टिप्पणियां की हैं.
So these are some of the main, most important texts on bhakti.
क्योंकि ये सबसे महत्वपूर्ण शास्त्र हैं भक्ति के लिए.
So we always emphasize that we should study these scriptures.
इसीलिए ये बहुत इस पे जोर दिया गया है कि हम इन शास्त्रों का अध्ययन करें.
And this knowledge will help us chant most effectively.
और अगर हम ये ज्ञान प्राप्त करेंगे तो हम भगवान के दिव्य नामों का जाप सही तरीके से कर सकते हैं.
Along with this, it is recommended that we worship the deity.
इसके अलावा ये भी रिकमेंडेड है कि हम
भगवान के विग्रह का भी
कि हम भगवान के विग्रहों का भी पूजा करें.
So, of course, in temples, that worship is a little more complex.
मंदिरों में जो भगवान के विग्रह हैं उनकी जो पूजा अर्चना है वो काफी जटिल है.
So in the house, it is simplified.
लेकिन घर में ये काफी सिंपल है, सरल है.
But the main idea is there should be some devotion.
लेकिन जो मेन इसमें जो प्रमुख चीज है वो है भगवान के लिए हमारी भक्ति.
In Kali Yuga, even if we're in the temple, we cannot follow the procedures correctly.
कलयुग में मंदिरों में भी जो पूजा अर्चना की सही विधि वो फॉलो नहीं हो सकती.
That's why the main process is Nam Sankirtan.
इसीलिए जो मेन तरीका है कलयुग में वो है भगवान के दिव्य नामों का जाप करना.
This does not require any rules.
और इसके लिए कोई भी नियम कानून नहीं है.
However, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also recommended somehow, even if we do it simply, that we worship the deity with devotion.
तो इसलिए चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने बोला है कि अगर हमें भगवान के विग्रहों की पूजा करनी है तो वो भी हम लोग भक्ति के साथ करें.
So one of the reasons for this is that we do not have to imagine the form of the Lord.
इसका कारण ये है कि हमें भगवान का क्या रूप है उसको इमेजिन करने की जरूरत नहीं है.
We do not have to imagine what Krishna looks like.
हमें ये सोचने मतलब हमें इसका अंदाजा करने की जरूरत नहीं कि कल्पना करने की जरूरत नहीं है कि भगवान का क्या रूप है, कृष्णा कैसे दिखते हैं.
So we have a form, we can see the form, and we can also serve the form.
So जब हम भगवान अर्चा को हम देखते हैं तो हम भगवान का रूप भी देख सकते हैं और हम उनकी पूजा भी कर सकते हैं.
So we can actually use various senses to serve the deity.
तो उस तरह से हम अपने जो अलग-अलग इंद्रियां हैं उन सबको हम भगवान की पूजा अर्चना में इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं.
So with the eye we can see the deity.
आँखों से हम भगवान के दिव्य रूप को देख सकते हैं.
With the hands, then we can cook for the deity, or dress the deity, or bathe the deity.
हाथों से हम भगवान के लिए भोग बना सकते हैं, उनका श्रृंगार कर सकते हैं, उनको नहला सकते हैं.
So we can engage our various senses in serving the deity form.
तो उस तरह से हमारी जितनी भी इंद्रियां हम भगवान की सेवा में लगा सकते हैं.
So there's a controversy among different religions about these forms. Most religions reject a form. They don't want forms.
ज्यादातर जो धर्म हैं उसमें बड़ा इस पे मतभेद है और कई जो प्रमुख धर्म हैं वो भगवान के विग्रहों को नकारते हैं.
But we find this is very prominent in India. There are temples everywhere.
लेकिन अगर हम भारतवर्ष में देखेंगे तो यहाँ पे बड़े सारे मंदिर हैं, सब में भगवान की विग्रहों की पूजा है.
And the temple has the form of the Lord in it.
और सारे मंदिरों में भगवान की अर्चा विग्रह है.
If you go to the mosque, no form there. If you go to the church, no form there. But if you go to the temple, it's a form there.
तो अगर हम लोग किसी मस्जिद जाएंगे तो वहाँ कोई भी भगवान का रूप नहीं है. अगर हम किसी चर्च में जाएंगे तो वहाँ भी भगवान का रूप नहीं है. लेकिन अगर हम मंदिर में आएंगे तो वहाँ भगवान का रूप है.
So this is a very special feature of the Vedic literature. It recommends us to worship these forms.
तो ये वेदों का एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण योगदान है. वो हमें बोलते हैं, हमें बताते हैं कि हम भगवान की विग्रह का पूजा करें.
Now the challenge will be, someone will ask, well, that form is material. It's made out of stone, or it's made out of wood, or it's made out of metal. So it's not God.
तो कोई ये बोल सकता है कि ये क्या है, ये जो विग्रह है या तो ये धातु से बनी है या लकड़ी से बनी है या ये पत्थर से बनी है, ये भगवान कैसे हो सकते हैं?
But we can answer that by saying, Supreme Lord is in everything.
तो ये अगर कोई हमसे पूछे तो हम ये इसका सिंपल जवाब ये दे सकते हैं कि भगवान सर्वव्यापी है.
In fact, the scriptures say the Supreme Lord is the whole world. He's the universe.
तो शास्त्र बोलते हैं कि भगवान तो खुद ही ये ब्रह्मांड है.
So he's all of the elements like earth, He is the earth, He is the water, He is the fire, He is the air, He is the ether, He is the mind. The Lord is everything.
तो ये शास्त्र बताते हैं कि भगवान जैसे पृथ्वी, अग्नि, आकाश, जल सारे यही भगवान है. भगवान की एनर्जी.
So then there's no problem. We can use these different elements to represent the Lord.
तो ये सारे जो एलिमेंट्स हैं, जो ये पंच महाभूत हैं, ये हम इनसे भगवान की रचना कर सकते हैं.
However, we have to make some special arrangements. We can't just worship anything in the world.
लेकिन हम किसी भी चीज की ऐसे पूजा नहीं कर सकते. उसका स्पेशल हमें कुछ एक अरेंजमेंट करना पड़ेगा, आयोजन करना पड़ेगा.
So the particular forms are made according to scriptural direction.
तो जो भगवान की विग्रह हैं, ये शास्त्रों में दिए गए नियमों के हिसाब से बनाई जाती हैं.
And once they're made, then we go through a ceremony so that deity form becomes special, it becomes spiritualized.
और जब ये विग्रह हो जाती है, उसके बाद हम एक पर्टिकुलर विधि है जिससे ये स्पेशल विधि है जिससे ये deity भगवान बन जाती है.
This is what we call pratishtha karma.
इसको बोलते हैं प्रतिष्ठा कर्म.
So the main element, although in temples it's a very complicated procedure that lasts many days, ultimately the main item is to call the Lord into that form.
मंदिरों में तो ये काफी जटिल प्रक्रिया है और कई दिन तक चलती है, लेकिन घर में ये बहुत ही सिंपल है और हम भगवान से आग्रह करते हैं कि आप आके यहाँ रहिए.
So we call the Lord into that form and we expect that He will stay there permanently.
तो हम भगवान से आग्रह करते हैं कि आप इस विग्रह में आके रहिए और यहाँ पे हमेशा रहिए.
So because He called the Lord into that form, then we have to worship that form regularly.
और हम लोग जब भगवान को यहाँ पे रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं आने के लिए, आग्रह करते हैं आने के लिए, तो इसलिए हमें सेवा करनी चाहिए.
So that form is non-different from Supreme Lord.
और इस वजह से ये जो विग्रह है, ये भगवान के समान है.
So we have to serve that form just as we would serve the Lord directly.
तो उसी तरह से हमें विग्रह की उसी तरह से देखभाल और पूजा करनी चाहिए जैसे स्वयं भगवान है.
And the most important element, of course, is the devotion we have.
और इसमें सबसे महत्वपूर्ण गुण है भक्ति, हमारी भक्ति.
The other important point is we have to be regular.
दूसरा, हमें ये जो सेवा है भगवान की, ये हमें प्रतिदिन नियमित रूप से करनी चाहिए.
So we have to serve the Lord every day.
तो हमें भगवान की सेवा रोज करनी है.
So if we do this, this helps develop our devotion.
अगर हम ये करेंगे तो हमारी भक्ति और बढ़ेगी.
Worship of the deity is one of the types of bhakti we can do.
तो भगवान की विग्रह में पूजा करना एक भक्ति का एक रूप है.
But along with that, then we still have to chant the name of the Lord.
और उसके साथ हमें भगवान के नामों का भी जाप करना है.
So if we follow this simple process, then we can actually be successful in spiritual life.
तो अगर ये हम सिंपल प्रोसेस फॉलो करेंगे तो हमें सक्सेस मिलेगी, सफलता मिलेगी.
So not only we can get out of the material world, we can go to the spiritual world.
तो हम सिर्फ इस भौतिक जगत में ही नहीं आगे बढ़ेंगे, हम आध्यात्मिक जगत भी जा सकते हैं.
So that is very rare.
और ये बहुत ही दुर्लभ है.
But when we perform bhakti, then the Lord is very merciful and we can easily attain that goal.
लेकिन अगर हम भगवान की भक्ति करेंगे तो ये जो दुर्लभ गोल है आध्यात्मिक जगत जाने का, वो भी हमें प्राप्त होगा.
हरे कृष्णा.
हरे कृष्णा. अगर किसी का कोई प्रश्न हो, क्वेश्चन.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj ji, just wanted to know in this because we have the let's say deity worship at home, so devotional service. Then we are in this material world. We have to do our regular activity, going to office, this, that. So how we can balance both the thing, when we are when we are doing devotional service, okay, we are something we are feel pure, some calm or something, and the moment we go to our normal day-to-day life, then entire thing is reversed.
Well, it's a matter of planning. Just like if we don't plan anything, probably we can't even work properly. So when you're working, then you do plan out your work and how you're going to do your work and when you're going to complete it, and you have a certain amount of time in which you allot that. Similarly, in the house, we can always argue, don't have enough time, so then we don't have to raise the children. We can just throw them on the street or do whatever. But no, we have to make the time to raise the children, get them educated, and do that also. So similarly, we also have to make time for the bhakti, because it's a very important part of our life. So we simply have to plan very nicely.
क्वेश्चन था कि हमें भगवान की विग्रह की भी पूजा अर्चना करनी है, भक्ति भी करनी है, और उसके साथ साथ हमें अपनी रोज का जैसे जॉब है, नौकरी है और बाकी के कई सारे काम वो सब करने हैं, तो कैसे करें? तो महाराज जी बोल रहे हैं कि अगर हमें नौकरी करनी है उसके लिए भी हमें कुछ प्लानिंग करनी पड़ती है, घर में बच्चे होते हैं तो उनकी परवरिश और देख रेख के लिए भी हमें कुछ प्लानिंग करनी पड़ती है, तो हमारा समय वही है, उसी समय में हमें सारे कार्य को प्लान करना है और उसी प्लानिंग में हमें भक्ति भी रखनी है कि भक्ति को भी हम उसी टाइम में कैसे फिट करें, उसके लिए भी हमें प्लानिंग करनी चाहिए.
हरे कृष्ण महाराज. Maharaj, during the course of lecture, you said that we call the Lord to reside in the deity. So we call them and we install the deities, and then over the time, since the deities are very close to us, so we tend to become very complacent. And then we fix some time. Okay, we will do Aarti 6:30, and then we have some work, so we give priority to do that, and then we move the Aarti time to 7 o'clock. So sometimes it feels very bad what we are doing, but we cannot do anything. So what should we do to manage?
Well, if that's why we have to be careful. If we're going to have the deities, we actually have to care for them nicely. Yeah? And if we don't, then Krishna can also leave.
कई बार क्वेश्चन ये था कि हम लोग डेटीज की सेवा करते हैं और कई बार किसी कार्य की वजह से जो हमारी रेगुलर सेवा है उसका कोई टाइम फिक्स है, उसको हम चेंज कर देते हैं क्योंकि हमारे पास कोई और काम है उस वक्त. तो महाराज जी बोले कि भगवान आके रुकते हैं विग्रह में हमारे आग्रह करने पे, भक्तों के आग्रह करने पे, लेकिन भगवान छोड़ के भी जा सकते हैं, तो इसलिए हमें रेगुलरली सेवा करनी चाहिए भगवान की.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, like you said, once we have the deities, we can do deity worship at home. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us the chanting of the holy names. So, like in both the things we have to do early morning. So, which one is more prior? Like chanting of the holy name is enough, or deity worship, or which one is?
Well, yeah, at least we chant the holy name. If we can do deity worship, fine. If we don't, but then we don't have deities. We just chant. That's all.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, they say that Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra are more merciful. So when we have Lord Jagannath at home, his deities, they say they are very more forgiving. So as Prabhu was asking that when we have commitments at life, as in job and everything, we tend to ignore certain things, like we are a little more flexible, and we tend to delay timings of aarti and things like that. So when we have Gaur Nitai and comparatively we have Jagannath Baldev, so are they equally strict and as Gaur Nitai?
Well, they're probably similar. Of course, Jagannath is a form of Krishna, but we see that historically speaking, he was worshipped very simply by the Shabbaras. So he accepts very simple worship also, as long as there's devotion. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is the most merciful form of the Lord, So therefore, even he forgives aparadhs, etc. So we can say that both are very merciful.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. This question is related to preaching. We are doing this girls preaching. So one obstacle that we face is that certain girls, they come to the classes, and after some time they stop coming. So what should be the attitude of a preacher at that time, and how can we make this preaching process more for the youths? We can make it more interesting so that we can intact them in this program.
Well, it's not that everybody is going to become a devotee. That's very rare, actually. Someone becomes a devotee. All we can do is encourage everybody. And, of course, by exposure, people can develop a taste. If they develop taste and faith, then they become qualified for bhakti. People that come, they may come for various reasons. Some may not be devotional reasons. So then naturally those people probably won't stay. Others may have a little faith, but they may also not, because that faith is not strong, they get tempted by so many other interests, etc. So we have to somehow keep increasing that faith somehow or other, find means of keeping up their interest and helping them participate in the programs. So there's no one way of doing that. It depends on the individual, also depends on the place, depends on the time, etc. So we have to think of all sorts of ways in which we can continually engage everybody, even if it may be a little bit of a trick to engage them by one way or the other. But nevertheless, by that exposure, then gradually their faith begins to increase.
I think Maharaj, she also wanted to know about that sometimes the preacher feels very discouraged because the preacher is invested so much in the individual, and then the individual also shows some interest, and then after suddenly...
Well, what can we do about that? All we can do is continue to encourage them. We can never force anybody. All we can do is encourage, and so of all those persons, then some are going to take it up and some won't, or some will be slower than the others.
One more question, Maharaj. Maharaj, many times we see various devotees have various different standard of devotion to Lord, and that reflects in their deity worship. So even sometime in temple also we see that different devotees have different modes serving the Lord. So how we should it's for us, it might, for personally, I think that, maybe I'm finding fault. So, whether it's correct or Maharaj, or what should be our mode when we see different discrepancy in different standards?
Well, there's what we call a minimum standard. So at least people have to follow the minimum standard. They do something beyond that, fine. Yeah.
Sometimes, as we are outside our hometown, we have to go our hometown or jatra or something. So that time we make our deity sleep in for 1 week or something. Or sometimes what happens due to some other work, like morning we woke up and morning only we make him sleep. So that will be how we'll take it.
Yeah, well that's why we have to be very careful if we're going to have deities, because we should actually do a daily service. Just as you care for your children every day, you don't put them in a box and go off on a holiday on your own, do you? Huh?
But we can't take God with us. So sometimes we're going out of town.
Yeah.
Make always God with us.
Yeah.
That is also very needed.
Yeah. So you have to think of all these things before you have deities. Just like children, also, you have to think very carefully before you have children, even. Somebody's got to take care of the children once they're born.
They can take the deities with them, or they request some other devotee to take care of them.
Yeah, like some arrangement.
Make some arrangement.
Maharaj, just continuation to Prabhuji's question. So Maharaj, whenever we come for some classes, say for example Saturday or we are coming to temple for some service. So that time usually we do some bhoga offering at 12 o'clock and then we do Gaur Aarti this time. So but since we are here, so what minimal we can do once we go back? I mean, usually what, as Prabhuji said, that we will offer the bhoga beforehand, do the Aarti and come here so that by the time we go, we don't need to do Aarti. So Maharaj, what should we do?
There's a regular schedule which they follow on 5 days a week. But usually on weekends they have services either in the temple or they attend some program classes like this. So that's the time when actually the Aarti time is there. But then they're either in the temple doing some service or they're attending some program. So they're not able to do that Aarti at that.
But there's nobody else there in the house?
Yeah, because personally whole family comes.
Oh, I see. Well, you have to think of those things when you have deities and make some arrangement.
So what he's saying is that they go back from this program and then do the Aarti.
You can do that also.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, one more question is like when we are coming for service in the temple, so sometimes we have early morning services. So at that time, like we keep deities to like rest and we go directly to temple because the temple services it's like the very early hours. So is it right to keep the deities to rest and then go for those services, or like whatever might be, like we should do deity service and then make them sleep and then go to the services?
You wake them up and then put them to rest?
Yeah.
Early in the morning.
If the service is early in the morning, they're asking what to do. Either let them continue to take rest when they come back from service and
Yeah,
wake
we can do
them up.
In northern India, there is a trend of having Laddu Gopal or Bal Gopal into the home as their the deity. Specifically, when I see for ISKCON, we will be having a Jagannath or Lord Nitai with us. So specifically, when we are thinking, means if we worship or deities, the Bhavagrahi, so the rasa specifically as a Vatsala rasa here, or here we will do as a most like we will be servant of the Supreme Light. He is the super soul, where the soul, the relationship specifically, the deity form is a little different. So when I see some of the devotees who will be having Laddu Gopal in their home, so I little bit not able, how can I cannot able to relate both the aspects, how to approach the deities in that perspective. If I simplify the question, there are different deity forms and we definitely with devotion worship them. But the doubt of mine is, once you worship, do we need to think for the specific deities and try to think while worshipping based upon the same mood, or how will we doing the worship?
What should be the mood while worshipping Laddu Gopal? Because certain devotees have Laddu
Yeah, well,
Gopal.
generally it's Vatsalya.
Generally it's Vatsalya.
Yeah.
And God Nitai is Dasya.
Yeah, that's right. Though in the beginning of devotional service, probably everybody just has a dasya mood.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, one last clarification Maharaj. So Maharaj, so while say for example Gaur Aarti is 7 o'clock and we are starting at 5 o'clock Maharaj, so we can we do Gaur Aarti at 5 o'clock and then come for service?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you Maharaj.
So we are very grateful to His Holiness Bhanswami Maharaj to grace and to deity welcoming ceremony at Keshav Prabhu's home. Maharaj is actually a very senior devotee of Srila Prabhupada. At very young age, Maharaj joined ISKCON, and Maharaj is also a very world-renowned scholar. He has translated more than 100